Hello, it's Father Samuel Hakim with a word of hope for Wednesday of the 31st week in Ordinary Time. Well, today we hear a repeat of what we heard in the Gospel on Sunday, but now in our first reading from St. Paul's letter to the Romans. One of the great commandments here, the second great commandment, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Paul reminds the Romans that the entirety of the law, the commandments, are all wrapped up in this: you shall love your neighbor as yourself. This is a very difficult task. Sometimes we can sort of cheapen it and turn love into this ethereal whatever. But when it comes down to it, this is incredibly difficult to accomplish in reality. Luckily, though, we have some heroes in the faith to guide us, certain saints, in particular the saint that the Church celebrates today. The Church throughout the world, and particularly we as Dominicans, celebrate the feast of St. Martin de Porus today. Martin was born in Lima, Peru, the son of a Spanish nobleman and an escaped Panamanian slave. Being of mixed race, his skin was darker than the noble class that lived in Lima, the Spanish settlers. And because of it, he was pushed aside and ostracized and prejudiced against, even by his own father. He would find solace and comfort in his faith, however, and particularly in the Dominican community, the Convent of the Holy Rosary, there in Lima. Despite receiving some opposition even from the Dominican brothers, he found holiness there. Martin would get involved in many of the behind-the-scenes tasks in the priory, and eventually would become a brother himself, and would be put in charge of the distribution of the alms that were collected for the poor. It is said that Martin was a friend to all, and that he was always attentive in love and charity to those who were before him, whether it was the poor at the door, the brothers in need in the convent, or the nobility who came by as well. Despite the prejudice that he faced in his younger years, he was reaching out in love constantly to those who were before him. This is what it means to truly love our neighbor as ourselves, to be aware, to be attentive to those in our life here and now. And so often this happens in the little ways, not the big and grand ways. Martin is one of those saints who shows us those little ways of immense love. May he be our guide today and always in our attempts to love our neighbors as ourselves. God bless you, and happy feast of St. Martin de Porus.